Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, whatever. Welcome to my very first YouTube live stream. I have already seen that there is a lag of about, 20 seconds. It's my very first YouTube live stream for drawing, so I have no idea if that is normal. I also have to make sure that my volume is correct. Ideally, there is somebody that lets me know in the chat. I would be very appreciative of that. Yeah, if the music is the right volume, if you can understand me. And while you tell me that, I will put up my template image that I will be using. The wrong one will pop up right now, probably. Oh no, where is it even? Oh, okay. Oh, perfect. Hey Shakira, hey Liana. Yeah. Liana, I didn't told you because this is just an experiment more or less, and I need to draw right now. Stressful emails and mail again. I need to draw. So let me quickly think. I have to concentrate for a second. This is not the right one. Where is my picture? I have to save as Thor. We will be drawing Thor, just so you know. Because I already selected a picture there a long time ago, and I just want to getting everything technically set up here to just start spontaneously. Streaming was stressful enough. I wanted to take a picture that I had already prepared and a model I had already prepared. So this is the picture. So Shakira, spoiler, this is the short-haired Thor. I lost the Buffy challenge. Yes, Liana, I lost the Buffy challenge. But there were a couple of things in there where I was really surprised that I actually still knew those things. But it tell me that selecting the song of when Buffy and Angel broke up, that is not simply a game of luck. Nobody can know that. Okay. Pencil. I will take this one. I have been streaming on Twitch and I've been using this little fella there the last 2 times, but I will today again take my trusty little almost gone to be pretty cheap one. So it's not extremely good, but what I like about it is just that I know it very well, and knowing your pencil is almost as important as the quality of it. So I know exactly how much pressure I can apply and still be able to correct stuff. So I already see that I need a new piece of paper because that one was scribbled on the wrong side, and also I am already very dirty. I'm a dirty boy. I directly need my protection sheet. So let me again refocus everything a little bit so that we have a good starting point. And then, without the long hair, of course, Shakira, don't pretend you have never heard me talk about how much I love to draw hair. Of course I took the short hair. And we can almost start. You know what was the thing that gave you the edge? Another question I was thinking about, and I was just so unsure, and I took the wrong selection. The season in which Faith appeared for the very first time, I selected 4 because I was so unsure, and I thought, okay, I think in 3 Kendra dies, but there is no Faith yet. But I thought, well, she was introduced before 4th season, before the whole Maya plotline and stuff. Was that already in season 3? I didn't know. I selected 4, and that was my downfall. Okay, so after we have clarified that, let us start. Good. Okay, so we start by, as I have just yesterday released my tutorial, we have started with materials. I already told you about materials, at least the first pencil I will be using and the paper. And then we have been talking about the model already. I've taken this picture because I had it already prepared. And it has a good quality. There aren't that many good quality, or I would say ridiculous quality pictures out there of these characters, actually, if you start looking for it. And I prefer to have a lot of detail in my pictures, at least in the reference pictures. It's always another question if you transfer that detail to your picture or not. But that was part 2 of the tutorial, and part 3 is the proportions. So let's try to find the proportions. Season 3 was the Mayor arc? Yeah, of course it was. 4 is Glory. Oh, you see, there's the mistake I did. If I had remembered, I for some reason I had the Mayor packed in season 4, and that was my downfall. There you see it. Let me measure our friend here. Because that is how you find out about the proportions. We can decide pretty easily 3 points of the picture. We decide, if you have a basic idea of the proportions and size. So we can decide on 3 areas, and now we can see on 3 dimensions. I have decided on how low I want to do the chin, how this is where the ear will land, and this is where the eye will land, something like that. And now we have to find out, or for our Canadian watchers, find out how high it is, more or less a little bit higher than this, at the lowest point, there where the hair is. So this, I don't know how do you call it. I don't even know how to call it in German. So something like here. So something like that. So let's start like this. I like to jump in fairly quickly normally. So we have the somewhere here. Let's do some quick strokes just for having something like an idea. Good thing is that he has a pretty well kept beard. That means it's pretty short. The consequence is that it does not add a lot of space at the bottom of the chin, because there are some nice proportion some facts about proportions that help you sometimes get it a bit quicker done and gives you a quicker understanding of the size of a head. So this is very basic now. We will have to check these, but it doesn't look completely wrong. So can you even see it? It's always a question of contrast, because I am drawing so lightly with this one. The laser lines. And the funny thing is, no, I won't spoil again. You have to know that Shakira is very much behind her Marvel movie watching list, so we can't spoil too much. But we talked today again already. We wrote about the shorthand version of Thor. I think we should add more proportions before I start. Let me see if I find something interesting, something helpful. Yeah. So, very helpful. And that is often the case, fortunately, that you find some similar length. Very helpful is that the distance between chin and the open mouth, as well as right between the eyes, those are the same distance, and then from the eyes up to this hair here is again the same distance. So those are perfect measurements that you have to find if you look at the picture. That can help you very much. So we have an open mouth around here. Then we have the in between eyes behind around here, and then we have, yeah, so something like that. So let me give it a rough shape, the mouth, and eyes are around here. So a lot of detail with the least amount of hair. I totally agree. This is a statement that very much describes my approach, I think. I've seldomly seen such a strongly defined nose and nostrils, I have to say. So yeah, something like that. So we have some information now about where we expect everything to be. And therefore we can go inside and correct now a little bit. Forest the initiative horror. That's why I erased that from my memory. Liana. Initiative. Enough said. And Riley and so on. Don't you think it's also a very big shame that there is not really, at least here in Germany, no streaming service with which you can watch Buffy? Good thing we have it on DVD, but I actually would like to see that infamously bad HD quality version, just for funsies. Yeah, we have started. And we're in episode 4 or something. No, I actually the leg doesn't necessarily have to be more. I have I'm not that good because normally I see the chat on my other screen, but with YouTube I don't have that, so I have to watch over to the chat, and I'm not good at that. Okay, let's continue. So, trouble again, the beard. The thing with the beard is we will only get any kind of resemblance to the actual person once the beard is there. Although with this person, at least most of us know how he looks also without a beard. I personally found him very funny in Ghostbusters. It's not the best movie ever, definitely not. But he was funny. I have to be careful that I don't make the same mistakes again with him that I did with Tom Holland. That had a much too small face inside his much too big head suddenly. So I have to say I am again in this strange headspace where I don't exactly know how I want to start. And I am feeling like I'm a bit rushing right now. That could be a effect from the picture I did in my tutorial video. Because I purposefully started drawing much faster to get me out of the comfort zone that I am in. Always drawing in the same speed, same way. I'm a bit wobbly in how I approach this. Juice. That's not, it's just yellow lemonade, not juice. So not healthy. But you see, with this wonderful color that I have definitely not put in too much of that stuff. Never. Yeah, but sometimes it was my chat already. Yeah, that I know. Sometimes I answer, and while I answer, I continue and thinking about and want to do something here, and I know that there is already other stuff on there, but then I sometimes forget to answer to all of that. For example, in this case, I have seen that there is already 2 other lines of chat, at least. So, but that's me, not necessarily the leg. But we can say it's the leg. I'm fine with that. Yeah, it's true. It's not really possible to not be spoiled at all about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? It's also always a question of how long is an acceptable time frame to expect people not to spoil oneself. You know what I mean? So if you've not seen the movie for a year, if somebody tells you how amazing this and that and why did that character have to suffer whatever, I think at some point in time you just have to live with it. I'm not happy at all. That's a good sign normally. I don't know why. Perhaps because I try harder? The perspective of the face is... He looks a little bit... He has the head... Or the camera is a bit... Not centered, but a bit downward. So... that also has an effect on the proportions. So as long as we do not shade and try not to recreate that, it will look also a bit strange in terms of perspective of the nose, for example, because as I said, it is quite defined, and you have a good look at the downside of the nose, which you often do not have because of another camera perspective. So we're not looking full frontal on his face, not only in the obvious tilt that he has, but also the up and down tilt. Okay, so we're getting a bit more bold because at some point we have to. And I think I will draw the eyes a little bit bigger than I think I should draw them, just to be on the safe side this time. It's such a shame. I really like the Tom Holland one. Apart from the much too small face on that ginormous head. So if anything doesn't look or sound good, let me know. I am feeling pretty comfortable with my configuration because I have configured so much already for Twitch. So I think I have configured this now correct. And it is a pretty simple layout that I'm using. So, but if anything looks strange or sounds strange, let me know. Bada 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 boo. Yeah, I always worry about spoilers. Spoilers are the end of the enjoyment of entertainment. I hate it if I am watching movies or want to watch a movie. I still have not seen, for example, that Harley Quinn movie. Nobody's talking about it. It doesn't seem to be that good, so nobody's talking about that, but that is a good thing. I still want to see it though. I still want to watch it, and I do not want to be spoiled, although my understanding is that it is purposefully not exactly canon with the Justice League movies and the big superhero movies from them, which I do not understand at all, which I cannot grasp the concept, looking at how unbelievably successful and good the Marvel movies are. And then people taking such strange, questionable choices on the DC side. On the one hand, I think it's a nice thing because they do not copy the formula one-to-one and are done with it. On the other side, it's just stupid. Sometimes you ask yourself, do they hate money? I'm so bad in chat. I'm sorry. Here I'm stopped worrying about Harry Potter spoilers too. Yeah, that's for example that's a very good example because you have the movies, you have the books, and it's all so old already. So if you are meeting somebody, do you still, before you when you start talking about Harry Potter, is your first question, how far in are you? Am I about to spoil you? Not necessarily, and nobody really can blame you for that. Next, I have to get forward. Have you not seen it? Of course she has seen Harry Potter. My God. Birds of Prey. Yeah, I haven't watched that either yet. So, by the way, Shaq, Liana is a real life friend of mine. So if you need any secrets about me, you can get them from her. Which was, by the way, not a general approval of handing my secrets out, Liana. Okay, so I shouldn't concentrate too much on this eye right now. He says while still concentrating on the eye. Okay. Other eye. I will probably not be too close to the actual light reflections in the eyes in this one, because I already messed it up in the other eye anyway. I just have to make it pretty believable. I don't like this point in time when I draw, I have to say. This state of a picture is one that I often would like to hide instead of show to the world, but I think it's important to know and to see that even if the end product is pretty acceptable, there are always points in time. We just have to continue. Like in the beginning with my Tom Holland one, which I could have scrapped it so for the longest time. No, don't worry, Liana. I did not really inform about this stream anyway, so don't you worry. This is not right. I don't know why, but see, there is an interest. I have never talked about this in a stream or in video before, I think, but there is something that I'm always looking out for in the eyes, and that is this area here, this kind of eye shelf. I have no idea how you want to call it. It is a pretty small detail that you see a lot. You have it here very, very narrow. You have it extremely wide here. So you don't really see it in the big screen, but I hope you understand what I mean. So this area where there is kind of like a shelf in front of your eyes, and that is pretty important to include if you can see it, because even if you are not aware of it and not thinking every time you're looking into the eyes, of somebody, you're not thinking, wow, he has beautiful eye shelves. I have to find out the name, if it has a name. But still you expect to see it. Or if you cannot see it, it looks somehow strange, and you ask yourself, why does it look strange? Or you just think it's strange. Normally you don't ask yourself, why is it strange? You just think, well, look at that strange face. It's missing all the eye shelves. This looks a bit terrible. Let's put in some minor shading to get a bit of more of an idea where we're going with this. Yeah, I should open a line of eye shelf decorations, you know, like the miniature flower pots. I think that there's a market for that. So I also try to not get too dark with this pencil, because it just you cannot really draw. If you put too much lead on the paper, you cannot really draw with other lead on top of it. And this is not that dark. So in all the areas I want to be really dark, I have to stay away with this one for the most part, to make sure that I can still reach the darkness I want to. You know? Your nose? He said while drawing the nose. So the thing about the nose in this picture, again, it is a bit complicated, because the line you see is not really formed by a dark line and a dark contrast. It is actually a little bit lighter. It is a light line, not a shadow line, and that makes it really annoying, but also very important to get right. So this looks very rough, what I'm doing here right now. I will fix it, I promise. But this nose is driving me a little bit crazy, to be honest. To get that right is really difficult. So I'm trying right now. I will probably jump ship on the nose pretty early on and see if I can do other stuff first. That helps me with the context of the nose to get that bit more realistic. And I'm also thinking about how can I because I hate how it looks right now. How can I make it a bit more attractive for viewers that are already now here? And I don't have to always tell them, don't worry, it will get better. So I try to get to a point where it doesn't suck anymore. This amount of darkness that I am already reaching here is already kind of a risk with this pencil, even because it's not perfectly erasable anymore. That is terrible. I will look at the chat in a second, I promise, but this is driving me nuts. Wah. Me not happy. Let me quickly make this to a point where I can stand looking away from it. Nah. Okay, so. Okay. Chat is quiet. Perfect. I don't miss anything. Let us define the line of the beard a little bit already. So that I can work with my shading around that. And here it becomes completely fuzzy. Now let's put in a couple of, probably not too light for you to see. It's something like that. So stuff like this is why I put in this little slideshow on the lower right corner to show people where I at least hope the picture will end up at some point. The puppy dogs, they are little assholes because they did not say hello when I came back home. No, it's a very good thing in the time frame where I was never really out of the house. You know, they get really attached, and it was a real big difficulty to go anywhere without them. Or at least you felt bad. It was not that difficult. You have those dogs which are barking the whole time once you leave. They are not that, fortunately. But they also were definitely not happy and a bit anxious, and they already now are back to a point. Now the 4th week, almost over, of my treatment, so they are used to me leaving and them being alone a couple of days the week. In the morning it's 3 hours or something, so it's not bad any that way or this way, but it's good that they don't worry anymore. It shows that they feel comfortable and they feel secure. So that's the puppy dogs. The fat cat, she was slinking around here. She was sitting right behind me for the very first time ever. She decided to jump up behind me. I don't call her the fat cat because she's a slim cat. So she took quite a lot of space on my... So it's a good thing that she's gone for now. So to just signal their eyebrows also often helps your picture to just get... let me see, I think it's already visible for you too. It looks a lot more palatable. It only gets really interesting once you go to the darker pencils though. That's one of the biggest secrets anyway. If you draw a picture and you are pretty sure of your details and that they look pretty right, and you still don't understand why it looks a bit boring perhaps, or how you can make it pop more, the answer is simple. Take a dark pencil and put in some dark places. Let's just do that. Let's not just talk about it, let's just do it. That's good that they are very well behaved. Raven is so naughty when I leave. She sits at the gate and whines until she can't see or hear me. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm very happy that my both are very quiet. And they are in the house, so that's even if they bark, neighbors only really hear it when they are outside. Again, I want to go dark with this one, but I have still one darker one, so I will not go all the way with this one. But we use it already to get a little bit more darkness in there and just to see where we are going with this. Because especially in the eyes you want to have a couple of details, a couple of the feeling that they somehow pop, that they just are noticeable, that they do not blend in with the rest of the face. Which is often done with eye color, like in this case with Chris Hemsworth. I'm not sure if they have color corrected his eyes. They have played around with the contrast, so it looks like this. But if you want to have the eyes pop in black and white, you Captain Obvious cannot do it with color. So do it with contrast, even if you have to lie. Even if you have to overstate stuff. Just do it. Your neighbors hate you because of it. Yeah, I can imagine. I would not, I have to say, I would also not like it too much. But if it's only until you're gone, your neighbors should be happy with that. I hate those dogs that get loud every time somebody passes. And then you have the other dogs that always get loud when those dogs get loud. And then you have the whole neighborhood a dog concert. So in those moments I understand why there are people who don't like dogs in the neighborhood. I think I will actually also go to town with the other pencil already. With the super dark one on the eyes. Because I already like what it's doing here. And I think we can use a little bit more of that reassuring effect. It does not look incorrect, the eye, but I have the feeling it's not wide enough. That I've somehow again made it smaller, changed the shape a bit, or a lot. But I don't think I can fix it anymore. Let me try to correct it as much as I can. So this is normally a thing, I also put it at the last step in my tutorial. This is something I normally do at the end. But if I have an audience, I cannot wait with that until the very end, because that makes it a bit boring up until then. It works for a time-lapse video. Is not nice for the audience in a live environment. So with eyelashes, I always mess them up if I just start in one corner and just draw them like this from left to right, because they have a certain, they change direction on the way over there, and you sometimes don't really catch the amount correctly if you just start and go for it. But if you set certain eyelashes, single ones, and then just start filling in between, that can help. That also normally helps that you have a couple of accentuated ones that look a little bit longer, that are a little bit more prominent. That also helps with it not looking too regular. Right now he looks very much like he has eyeliner or something on. We need to get a bit more contrast all around so it loses a bit of the sharpness it has right now. If I could be friends with one and only one superhero, who would it be and why? Probably I would... Which universe are we talking? Movie, comics? It's not that easy, you know. And the trouble with being friends with superheroes is their friends are always in some kind of danger. So do you really want to be friends with a superhero? So in general, for example, Spider-Man is very interesting in that regard, because I think he's just a person you can really hang with, but it would not be necessarily the Tom Holland version, or at least not in that age. We have seen already a little older Spider-Mans, which would be a bit more interesting than the high school Spider-Man to hang with. So, MCU, not Spider-Man. Perhaps it's also my brain is also a bit difficult in that regard. I'm also thinking directly about stuff like Doctor Strange would be interesting, but what do we have in common? On what ground would a friendship be formed at all? And how long would that last? Because in that universe, it looks like... I don't like this music. Although that sounds a bit Doctor Strangey. But it's a bit dark. It seems like in the MCU and in general in comics, magic more or less is open to anyone with a little talent. So that would give you the most chance to get some kind of superpowers yourself. Probably. And magic is always fascinating. And if you have seen the movie, I don't think you have seen the movie. I think you can... Let me think about it. I think you can watch that movie without any other. I'm just thinking about... Does it have any references even to the big Avenger movies? I don't think so. I think, if anybody else here knows better, correct me, but I think you could watch the Doctor Strange movies out of order. Because it's creating this whole magic mythology, and the other stories are not in that magic mythology, although Thor and Asgard, they belong to this territory, and they are brought together at some point, but not in the first movie. So you could watch that out of order, and magic is cool, you know. You nose, he says while he draws the nose. I'm unsure what I would do in terms of faked interview with Thor. I never really know, to be true, to be truthful, to tell you the truth. I normally extract lines that I find funny or which I think could be brought into some kind of context. And once I have wrote them down and I've named the files with what kind of citation is in there, I construct a story around it. So other than that, oh, my handkerchiefs are gone. Other than that, I think I would go with Doctor Strange, although he is a bit uptight in comparison to others. I think somebody would have a lot of fun with his Thor. I think if you want to go to a party or something, Thor is a lot of fun. But I have to correct myself from the very beginning. I don't think that I am faster in any way than I normally am. I'm not rushing anymore, at least. I might have in the beginning. I always struggle a little bit to... I always define during the first stages how I really approach it. Approach a portrait. The outcome is always pretty similar. But while I have structured my tutorial in a certain way, in a certain structure, it honestly always depends on the picture that I've chosen, in which order I do stuff, how I do stuff. Portrait works perfectly fine, probably because of my messy art style. Please put the line another in there somewhere, please. Another. I remember. I remembered exactly how he's saying it, but I needed a little bit time to remember the context. Yeah. I have to find a way to get Bob back in there again. That's not always easy. So let's put in... We are losing the eyebrows right now. Let's put them back in because they help a lot. Something like that, I would say. You see, this one also can get still pretty dark, but it's in general more gray than dark than black. So this one gets good dark gray, and this one is gray, not that dark gray. We need a couple of really dark places for contrast reason. I think I overdid it a little bit with the darkness in that area though, but he'll live. So originally I tried to stream yesterday, but that would have been Twitch, not YouTube. Did not manage yesterday, so I always wanted to try to stream also a little bit on YouTube, so I thought, why not right now? We're getting somewhere, right? Thank you very much, Chuck. I'm not 100% happy yet, but when am I? But we're getting somewhere. He starts to get a little bit more character. And while I'm not perfectly happy with the nose, it is almost acceptable to a certain degree. I'm not happy with the darkness around under the eyes, around the eyes, but you always have to be careful that it doesn't look like he just didn't sleep the night, you know? Okay, mouth. I was just very quickly considering to first go with the beard and then add the mouth later on. But I already told myself, no, it's not the smartest idea. It's better to have, I hope it's smarter and better to have a little bit more information of where to even put that beard, instead of just starting putting it somewhere. Interesting thing is, the mouth is open, you don't see really teeth. There's a minimal line here of teeth that I will ignore, I think. But the mouth is open, and the interesting thing is that for some reason, in my rendition, there's not much there yet, but you don't have the slightest idea that the mouth is open for some reason. Although the line is pretty, you know what? Not pretty, but big. The width is higher than a line would be if there wasn't an open mouth. So let's put in a bit darkness. There looks already a little bit more like a slightly opened mouth. And not just a not very clean line. And they even incorporated a little hint of teeth. Snacks are always good. You see, I didn't even look to the chat while you were gone. Snacks are good. Although it's pretty late for you, isn't it? So I'm not sure if a snack is really good right now. How is Cricket? Is he around? Is he watching? Is he sleeping? Ah, 11 PM. You don't have to work tomorrow, that's not too bad. I should start thinking about stopping though. But I fear we have to do a little bit of beard at least. Still on stream. Yeah, it starts to not look completely terrible. So let's see if we still like where the ear is lying. So we need to put that line. So we draw it potentially too high. Should be around here. The lowest line that we estimated in the beginning is pretty close. Okay. So my ears are always a bit more of a quick thing. Don't enjoy drawing ears very much, so it's more of a conceptual quick draw. But as I like to say, you don't recognize people based on their ears normally, so if you don't hold the original next to it, nobody will say, oh, that's not his ear, is it? He woke the entire household up at 6 a.m. How can a little small cutie pie like him wake the complete house? He isn't able to even make that much noise yet, is he? How did he manage to do that? I would probably take him. I would prefer him not be sent in a box across the whole world, though. And also I was thinking about a girl again, honestly. Yes, I am putting a bit more love into this ear right now because I procrastinate the beard. Okay, so we have an ear. That line is not correct. Is it? Can't be. It's not that important either, but... So, I'm drawing the line there. There is hair. Perhaps that is something that's confusing me. So we have hair. That is about here. Something like that. No idea how I will draw that because it's not in focus and nothing. Then we have something like this. Then we have the... you know what? I don't know what. I'm missing that word right now. Okay, so. And then we have the hair. The hairline. Going somewhere here. And here the hair is turning into beard. And then we have... I have the feeling the ear is much too big, but it's just slightly too big. Still, I will make it a bit smaller. Hey Cyril, welcome. Thanks for joining. I won't be on for that long anymore, but thank you very much. Super bro, thank you. I am doing my best. I'm not 100% happy, but we're not done yet, are we? So I will use this. I hate it, but it's a bit stronger. It might help me get rid of this line. No, not very. Can you help me? Yeah, well, so we have some areas that are already pretty Okay. And we have other areas like the mouth, which are... I cannot procrastinate any longer. I guess I have to go with the beard now. So, but let's try to get the outline first. Let's try to get the outline first. So we have already the general light outline here. We need to continue it now here, down here. Of course, we have this area, and then we go up here. There are other hairs which make it a bit less clean, which are important, but we'll work on that later. So let's see. They're very light hairs. I will probably cheat a little and not draw them light. I think I have also noticed a lot of artists are using a white pencil. Or so not a pencil, but a pen, a white ink or whatever for highlights. And I should consider also trying to do something like that. Because, for example, those light white hairs, if you try to keep them white by defining an outline, in contrast to just drawing the hair, that can drive you crazy. And having a pen that allows you to really define strongly how those white hairs should look. Could be a big help. See, because of Cyril, I have not noticed what you have written. He also echoes a lot, and he meows very loudly for a tiny little kitten. He really does. I think that's even funnier as he's the runt of the litter. Yeah, you said that, but that is, I think, not unnormal that the runt of the litter, once he gets to his or her strength, becomes a bit of a more rambunctious one. If that is the right word, I think so. But you know, I'm not the English expert. The beard is one of the things why I love a high quality template. The higher quality, the better, because it helps a lot if you can see exactly how the hair of the beard, how long it is. Some of those more difficult areas, just because if you, in the end, if you draw what you see and if you can see the structure of the beard, if you draw what you see there, it always looks more realistic. Especially if, as me, you're not really a freehand beard painter. Yeah, then it's perfect. If he fits in with the rest of your crazy family. And he also has some of his brothers and sisters there, right? Although I heard that two women from the same litter, is that the right word? To girl cats, that they get along when they are young, but they start to get really competitive and can get really mean to each other when they are big. So I hope you do not have the house full of female cats from the same litter. So we have an issue. I like how this looks, and that means I will have to keep up with this level of detail that I really don't appreciate, because it is quite detailed in terms of the hair. Your brother and aunt both have one of his brothers each. It's brothers, okay. They bring them down to play this. He had no sister because he's a... Yeah, he had no sister because he's a ginger cat? That's the first I've ever heard that one. I know that almost all ginger cats are male. That's why I also assumed that he was male. I know a couple of ginger cats that are not male, but I've never heard that in a litter with a ginger cat there was not supposed to be female. You sure that's not just superstition or something? Yeah, but there could be other color cats there, right? I have seldomly seen a cat litter with all the same color. That's what I mean when I say it doesn't have to be, right? So after I've filled this in, I will quickly switch to the darker pencil to get it also a bit more exciting. So we have a bit of a better idea how it will look once I've filled it in, but then I have to stop. For today. So having this filled in, adding a little bit more with this pencil, changing to the dark one, and then we're done for today. I don't know what tortoise shell cat is. I think it is what we call Glückskatze in German. Lucky cat. Those with a couple of different colors in their coat, brown and white and I don't know what. We call them lucky cats. All 5 of them were gingers. Not a single cat without a soul. with a soul. That's a shame. I need more pictures. Mehr. I'm starting to get a bit. I have to finish soon. I need more pictures of cricket. If you don't want to post them on the Discord, in the main chat, in the general picture chat, send them to me directly. But I need more cricket pics. Cricket pics. Cricket pics. Cricket pics. I have to say, actually, I have a color seeing issue that I think you're probably aware of by now. And the color of ginger cats is not my favorite color of a cat, which might just be my inability to see that color correctly. I have actually never... I should try my color correction glasses on cricket. I have not tried that yet with a ginger cat, truth be told. It could change a lot because, for example, my Jesse also, he has quite a lot of red in his coat that I just do not see when I do not have my glasses on. So it changes a lot. That doesn't mean that I don't like the cat, but the color is not my favorite cat color. And this whole thing was just a dumb joke. So okay, apart from this being all a bit boring right now, I think I have to put in a general layer of gray. Starts to look okay, although I have already a lot of areas that I am completely not happy with. But for example, he looks, especially just that I have only drawn in this beard, he looks a lot like Tony Stark. So I hope he loses it after I have drawn more of him, especially the rest of the beard and the hair. I will still have to tinker a little bit with the nose. Still not happy with it. The left eye I totally botched. It's nothing like in the original, so I can be happy that I have the level of similarity already that I have at this point, but that eye is botched. I won't be able to save that but perhaps I can salvage it a little bit. Yeah. It looks a lot older, I think. I probably have to clean up the shading a little bit also. But other than that, this is how we are for today. Your mother will not have any other cats but ginger. It has to be fully ginger without any white. It can have cream but not white. She's so fussy. That is interesting. That is interesting. I personally love the blue ones. So we have now a blue, the color is called blue, dog, so that counts for something probably. I love the... how are they called? Russian blue. I love Russian blue cats because they are also a bit. They are not as the I don't know how they are called in English. The Karthäuser is the German. Carthusian or something, perhaps in the classic blue cats. You also have see everywhere in advertisements and stuff. The Russian blue is much leaner. I like that more. So those are my favorite, but you would have to buy them from a you would have to buy them. You would not be able to rescue them. So probably they won't be in this household. But they are cute. And I love the color. Perhaps because it's more or less gray and I know that I see them correctly. It could be that. Okay, but that's it. Thank you very much for watching. If you are new to the channel, subscribe. Check out my time lapses of already finished portraits. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being here, Shaq. And I wish you a good night. And see you soon. Goodbye.